Welcome to the Triple Scoop. My name's Matt. Greg's here. Diana's here. We're going to talk about some stuff. So, what are we talking about, Diana?
Tight. Yeah, I think today we should talk about traveling. All things traveling. Where we want to travel, things that are maybe pet peeves when you travel. You know, well, Greg's looking at his watch like, how much time do we have? We're going to be here for about an hour talking about travel.
You don't travel very much, though.
I don't. Not yet. Trying to. Branching out.
Greg went with us to Disneyland very recently. Don't give her Yoshi.
She took it, I'll be honest.
Lucy's walking around here. That's our dog. She's a real pain in the butt. Anyway, Diana and I have been to lots of places, mostly Disney, Disneyland, Disney World. We're going on a Disney cruise next March, which is going to take us to Mexico. But we've been to Mexico, what?
Together only once.
I'm from Mexico, so that's perfect.
Your clan, your tribe.
Yep, my hombres. But we've been to Jamaica. We've been to Hawaii. We've been to
Florida
well,
and Nashville.
Seattle. So kind of here and there. Greg's been to Post Falls and Spokane.
So when was the first time that you were on an airplane that you know of, Greg?
Like that I consciously remember?
Yeah.
5th grade? No.
Grade.
2nd grade on the way to Seattle to start my lifelong love of the Oakland Raiders.
Gotcha. What about you, Matt? When's the first time you were on an airplane?
You gonna roll your eyes at that, you piece of shit?
This isn't a Raiders podcast, garbage.
I'm in it.
Stupid. Raiders are garbage. First time I remember being on a plane was flying to California to go to Disneyland in like 1995.
So you were 7, 8?
Something like that.
7 or 8?
Same.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
It was before we moved up here from California, and the first time I was on a plane, and I had just turned 5 when we moved. So I was probably like around 3 or 4, because we had gone to Hawaii and a few other places. Because my dad used to work for the airline, so we would get like, buddy passes and stuff, and that would be a little bit cheaper than normal. But
Our house is haunted, apparently.
Probably just Lucy.
Mine was memorable because a jet, like a fighter jet, flew past our plane.
Why?
I don't know.
Yeah, it seems
fun.
Like you saw it or heard it.
Everyone saw it out the left side of the plane. I didn't see it.
Seems
I was
unsettling.
like, ooh.
You didn't see it? That's sad.
Mm-mm.
Especially with your affliction for
Air travel.
Like military
jets
things.
and shit. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was like 7, so at that point it was like toys and stuff.
Yeah. But it's like, you remember when people could go to the gate with you and like security like wasn't a big deal and all that stuff. I don't know if I've ever told you, but I went to New York City on the 8th grade trip, and that was in June of 2001.
Holy shit.
Yeah. And we were in New York City, and we had the chance to go to the Twin Towers. But there was more girls than boys on the trip, and we wanted to go shopping instead.
Wow.
And then after like we got back and like high school started and stuff, and then like 9/11 happened, we were like, oh my god!
Yeah.
Like it was like totally like we were almost there.
Yeah.
I didn't get to go on that trip because my grades were bad.
Are you surprised by that?
I didn't have good grades in school.
Me either. I made no attempt.
Did you ever get tested for ADD?
No.
I did.
No, because I tested really highly. I just didn't do anything.
For ADD?
No.
Oh.
For
It's like, oh yeah, I tested real high on that. Yeah. No, my dad had me like, because when they test you, they like have someone follow you around school without you knowing and like watching you and like taking notes and stuff. And I remember like the guy being in all my classes, I was too stupid to care.
Maybe it ties into that ADD thing. Huh?
Yeah. I did not really pay attention. So yeah. But he told my dad like at the end of the day or whatever, he's like, yeah, he's just really social. So yeah, he's not retarded or whatever. He's just really social. And but yeah, they full on tested me. But I was a good like kid.
Mm-hmm.
I just wasn't a good student.
Yeah.
I think your mom didn't even realize that was happening either. She said down the line.
Yeah,
like,
she said he did it like by himself, like on his own accord, like tested me for ADD or something.
That's
stupid.
hilarious.
Well, I mean, it's whatever. But no, I distinctly remember going to the gates. The last time going to the gates when my sister went on her New York trip, but that was in like, what would that have been?
2 years before I went.
Yeah.
So.
But I mean, now it's like no one does it anymore.
I have a
Yeah.
picture of me in first grade. It was the first time my oldest sister came up here. She came up for her 21st birthday. And there's a picture of me like hiding behind the gate, like waiting for her to come off the plane so I could scare her. That wouldn't fly these days.
Take him down.
Definitely frowned upon.
Yeah.
I don't like flying, but I like traveling.
Yeah, flying
Yeah.
fucking sucks.
Not a fan either. And I've never been really a good flyer either. Like when I was little, I was that little kid that would always throw up on the flight, like into the bag, and it was
Interesting.
awful. Yeah, it was awful. That's
I
like
always just thought I was gonna die. So.
yeah.
You guys are both pussies. When I was a kid, I used to love flying, but after like September 11th, I hated flying. Yeah. Really put it in my brain.
My parents went on a cruise, like I think it was October 2001, and the whole time it was just 100% certain that they were gonna die. So
Oh,
that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Bon
Pretty fun
voyage.
time. Yeah.
You're like, bye, Mom.
Yeah.
Bye, Dad.
Oh yeah. I just stay with the neighbors. It was
Oh.
grim.
Well, but the only times that I'm really scared are takeoff and landing.
That's a lie. I sat next to you.
Well, when it's bumpy, I was about you let me finish my
Oh, I
goddamn
hate
sentence.
when
Well,
it's
you were done with
bumpy.
your sentence.
When it's bumpy, that's when it gets a little whatever. Yeah.
we do the window check.
Yeah. Greg's a better window partner than you, by the way. We never talked about this.
Well, that's
We have the
because
same anxiety.
I have to
Yeah.
sleep.
Well, we have the same anxiety, but she has to have the window for whatever reason, and then I have to if I'm like really kind of scared or whatever, I like to look out the window to make sure I can see the earth.
Yeah.
And make sure the clouds aren't horizontal.
Yeah.
And so whenever I do it to Diana, she's like, ugh, and like she wake her up or whatever, and she freaks out. But Greg, anytime I felt something, me and Greg were on like a mind meld, and so I would look over, he'd look at me, just give me a subtle little nod, and then open the window, and then he would look back at me when we found out we weren't plunging to the ground, and then give me another subtle little nod, and then we'd go back about our business.
That's because I'm under the mindset of I want to be in the window just because I have to sleep, so I need the side of the plane to sleep against.
You said I'm a terrible person wrong.
Stupid. But I'm
Got her.
out of sight, out of mind. I'm not in the air, closing the window, and wake me when we get there. That's why I hate when the pilot is like, okay, we're going to start our descent, and it's like fucking 20 minutes to a half an hour later. I'm like, just tell me when we're there. I don't like that part. It's the anticipation of I'm done. I'm ready to be on the ground. No, thank you. And then going to the bathroom on the plane, I couldn't tell you the last time I went into the restroom on an airplane because I just hate it so much.
Have you ever pooped on a plane?
Absolutely not.
Me neither.
Never.
Because I feel like I'd create an issue.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I dropped some bombs that, and so I feel like if I did it on a plane, automatically air traffic control would be radioing in, is there a problem? You know what I mean? I just feel like I would damage some of the systems.
Well, plus you'd be in there for so long. They'd be like, sir, is everything okay?
Yeah, I'm a large person, but I'm not morbidly obese like you see some of these people. I think I'm kind of average. I don't know how these people even fit in bathrooms. I went into a bathroom on, what was it, our Disney World flight in 2017. I had to go. Seriously, my shoulders, I had to scrunch them in like this.
Yeah.
Just to.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
Do they have to just back in? There's no turning
Oh.
around.
I just have to wear a diaper at that point.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. Buy 2 seats, wear a diaper.
But you know what? Astronauts wear diapers.
That's a little different.
I know, but it's true.
Yeah.
And astronauts are super smart, and they go to space and stuff. So it's
So-
if you have to wear a diaper, it's not the worst thing in the world. It's look, I'm just like an astronaut. If anybody makes fun of you, it's oh, sorry.
Yeah,
Just
but
like
I
John
think-
Glenn over here.
Yeah.
I think
Well, they're
that's-
going.
American
They're
hero
going to
John Glenn.
space,
Yeah.
and we're going to Seattle.
Yeah.
Just saying, if you ever, if I ever had to wear diapers or
Yeah.
something like that, I'd be like, well, so did Neil Armstrong.
Yeah.
You
And-
piece of shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and then
And-
if you have that argument with anyone,
They'd be and you're going to work.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
he works in space,
Yeah.
and that's a little different.
Well,
you work
technically,
in
he's
a bank.
dead. Rest in peace, Neil Armstrong and John Glenn.
But Buzz is still alive, right?
Yes.
Okay.
they'd probably commend you on how far you've made it with Down syndrome.
They're like, this special kid.
High functioning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, Matt, why are you wearing a diaper? Good, Neil Armstrong.
How dare you disparage the special community in this podcast?
Oh,
Special.
jeez.
Well, my thing is I'm always prepared to die anytime I get on a plane. I am.
Yeah.
I get on the plane.
You
Greg's-
give it to kiss the
Yeah,
kiss the
Greg,
hand, slap
Greg's
the
on my
window
ritual.
side.
I kiss my hand, and I, right when you like go on the door,
Yeah.
I go, boom, and I just ask the plane to get us there safe. And it's kind of stupid, but it hasn't filled me up. But when I sit down and I like buckle my seatbelt and we start like pulling back from the gate, at that point I'm just like, yep, well, I could die here.
Yep.
Like this
Yeah.
could be
You're
it.
just in a sideways building getting thrown from city to city.
Yeah.
Never really thought of it that way, and that's really horrible.
Yeah.
That's why I have to sleep, because I just don't want to think about it. I'm like, just get me there.
Mhm.
I'm ready to be.
Yeah, but once you're there, it's all like, oh, everything's good.
Yeah.
But even like when you go on vacation, like when we land, it's like, oh yay, vacation time. But hey, 7 days till the next potential
Yep.
death. That's how I seriously like
Yep.
that's in my mind. That's how it goes. And then as the departure date gets closer and closer, then I get
Yeah.
more nervous and more nervous.
But as we found on the California trip, it's not once you get to the airport, it's when you get to the hotel that you're finally safe, because Ubers can be
Oh.
sketchy as hell.
Oh.
I'm not a big fan of Uber anymore.
I don't know
Well,
if
and then
it's
it's always in the back of my head
Or
that
Lyft.
anytime I'm in California, the big earthquake's going to happen and we're just going to get broken
That's
off
true.
into the ocean.
We were good this time.
This time.
Yeah.
And then what happens a week later?
just narrowly missed
Did you
it.
see like the ground, like the shifts that they showed,
Oh,
like
yeah.
from the satellite pictures?
Oh, yeah.
Like 13 feet, like a road got split.
Really?
Like yeah.
On this last one?
Yes.
Wow.
The 7.0 or whatever.
Yeah. But think about
Jeez.
that. That's the Earth moving
Yeah.
13 feet.
That's
like-
significant.
It's not just, I mean, just think about that. It's like if we were like on this couch right now, 13 feet, like Greg would be over there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Can you imagine, like, you
Good thing it's a sectional.
Boom! Got him! Oh, man. Well done.
Thanks.
What were you going to imagine?
I don't remember, like, just standing next to someone and just being like, sorry, just standing next to someone and then them being like across the room. Shut
Yeah.
up.
Standing sex.
Wasn't planning
Standing
on going
sex with someone. I mean, standing next to someone. We're not going to let this one devolve.
Yeah, exactly.
But yes, once I'm in the actual like location of where I wanted to travel, then I'm a happy-go-lucky. Like I'm free.
No, I used to be good as soon as we got off the plane, but
Yeah.
these and like maybe it's just because we're not used to like Ubering everywhere. Because I
Yeah.
feel like I watch like reality shows and these people like in big cities just Uber everywhere nonstop. But
Well, I had two in Seattle when I went for the concert,
yeah,
and they were great.
yeah,
First dude was from Iran.
yeah.
Nice guy. Pretty sure we might have created.
Did you check the trunk?
We had some less than conservative conversation, and I feel like he might hate America now, and that's on us. But
Just because of you? Where you weren't wearing that red Angels hat and he misconstrued it for something else?
no.
What was your second driver? Did you just have an
He wa-
Afghanistan guy?
Sure did. Yeah. So got an Uber from
Oh,
Spokane
okay. Yeah,
home.
the arena.
He was from Afghanistan. He was sketchy.
Hmm.
The Iranian dude plays classical guitar.
Oh,
Nice guy.
that's cool.
Yeah. And then the Uber from the
Does the other guy
concert-
play classical Qatar?
It was a terrible joke.
For me.
The Uber from the concert back to my friend's apartment. That dude was from the Bay Area, so he's a Raiders fan. And he
Or a
just
Niners fan.
No, we talked about it. Come on.
No. Of course.
Oh,
a
where are you
terrorist
from? He's
would
like,
be a
oh, San
Raiders
Jose.
fan.
I was like, oh, so you're a Raiders fan. He's like, of course.
Makes a lot of sense.
Also Mexican.
He's from
Not
that side of
you
the
had
bay.
to
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Wasn't classy enough to be a Niners fan.
know. He was a nice guy. Told
Yeah.
me way too much about his life.
That's what I was gonna
Yeah.
say. So do you strike up conversation with these people, or do you let them like talk? Cause I'm not good with the stranger small talk.
Mhm.
I feel like I've always taken the point of view like stranger danger, and Matt, it's always been instilled in you from a young age. I should talk to everybody that I can, cause that's how your mom is too. She just
Mhm.
she talks to everybody, and I'm just like not that social. So
Well,
especially
otherwise, it's awkward.
Yeah, I don't like the awkward silence.
really.
I'd
With the
much rather
Afghanistan dude, I was fine with the silence because he didn't speak English very well.
Yeah.
In LA, Greg talked to our driver when we got there or whatever, and they were talking about how, like, oh, Lakers and stuff, and I was like, okay, good, this is now a little more loosey-goosey,
Yeah.
except for the guy's, like, a Clippers fan now.
Yeah,
Just
what a
like-
piece of shit.
Yeah, if he's listening, fuck you, guy.
Yeah. Like, oh, so you're a Lakers fan? He's like, man, I was for 20 years, but now I'm switching to the Clippers.
Yeah.
And then he has the nerve to say us when we're talking about the Lakers.
Yeah, after he just told us he was a Clippers fan, he's like, man, I hope we do well this season with
Yeah.
LeBron and AD and all this other stuff.
Get
Like,
outta here.
whatever, man. But no, I
Hypocrite.
have to talk to people. Because if you don't talk to people, then it's like, what are we doing here? Even the pizza guy, like when the pizza guy comes or something like that, I'm like, hey, how's it going, man? Have a good night, and then I'll tell him to drive safe. Like,
Oh,
I
really?
don't want to, yeah, because otherwise he's just staring at me or inside my house and just whatever.
Yeah, I don't make eye contact, so I don't know where he's looking.
Well,
It's just differences.
I like to remember their face in case something negative
Oh.
happens.
have you ever thought about that? Like a pizza guy will drop by and then he'll be like, "Oh yeah," like he's casing the place, and he'll be
Oh,
like,
yeah.
"Oh, I'm coming back tonight." at
That
10
happened to my
o'clock."
mom.
Really?
Really?
Yeah, it wasn't a pizza guy, but when she lived in Arizona, somebody knocked on the door and she opened it, and it was a newspaper or a magazine salesman,
Mm.
and he's
Scary.
like she said she remembered him like looking around, and she went and like ran errands later, and came back and her door was broken in
Nope.
and all her shit was gone.
Nope.
Jeez, that's scary.
Yeah.
I always think about
That's why
that
I'm not
whenever
very
someone
trusting.
comes to the door.
Yeah.
Because I try and like make it so like I don't have to open the door all the way.
Mm-hmm.
Pizza guy, you kind of have to because you have to sign for the
I
receipt.
usually like watch for him to come so I can get out on the porch.
Yeah,
So
that's a good
yeah.
idea. Damn it. I'm just usually not very, like I'm usually like in basketball shorts and like haven't showered
That's
in a
how I
couple of
live.
days. I'm just saying, like I don't plus I don't really like my neighbors that much, so it's like if I step out, it's like, hey, they're here.
That's
I am just
fair.
waiting for the pizza guy.
Yeah.
Like some kind of retard.
Yeah.
But
Well, you've seen the porch. It's covered.
Yeah.
Your porch is
yeah,
great.
it's very
Yeah.
welcoming.
yeah, damn it.
And I forgot to tell you the last time, your mom's hanging flower baskets are on point. They're almost like the ones at Silverwood.
That's
They're
all
very
my
nice.
dad.
Is it?
Yep. Does it every year.
Really?
Yep.
I could do without the trim
What?
on the house. The house
Oh.
trim.
Oh.
It's a little
What color is it?
green.
It looks great.
I think I could do without it.
It's woodsy.
Yeah.
Anyways.
You piece
I
of
digress.
shit.
Anyway.
Jeez. So have you ever been on a cruise or anything like that, Greg?
No.
No. Have,
Well, I've been on
the
a
cruise.
giant ferry from
We don't want to know about your Saturday nights. We want to know about your travel experience. It writes itself.
it's like I've been to Canada twice, and the first time we took a ferry from Seattle to Vancouver, and then there was a giant one that either took us to Victoria or from Victoria.
Yes. Okay.
That one like felt like a cruise ship. It had like an arcade and shit, but not like a real
Dude,
cruise.
Yeah.
I love cruise ships for that reason. They have like casinos and stuff on them. I just think it's cool.
Yeah.
You
I'm
know?
gonna guess that the Disney cruise won't have a casino on it, but
But
Like,
still, it has
confirmed it
buffets.
Confirmed it won't.
Positive. On a Disney cruise?
well, we've
So you
watched
don't know?
Positive.
we've watched a few YouTube videos and
Yeah,
it
we
didn't
watched like
look
a whole
it.
tour of the ship.
But
Hey, drop your kids off at the Mickey Mouse Fun Pool and then come in and shoot some craps.
I mean,
that's not a thing.
And you've gone on one or two cruises, Matt?
Two.
Two.
A Carnival cruise, which was
Two.
fun.
Where did you go?
Oh, I was like, yes, two. We went from Orlando to the Bahamas and back, and then the second cruise I went was on Norwegian. This is when I was like in middle school, and that was from Miami around Cuba and hitting all those islands down to Jamaica, and then back. It was cool.
That's cool. The only cruise I've been on to was the Alaskan Islands cruise, so the southern
I'd like to
part
go to
of
Alaska.
We went in the summer, and it was like, you know, I mean, you think like, oh, in Alaska it snows all the time and this, that, and the other, but it was in the summer and it was just like being here. Like it wasn't really different. But the sights were really cool. Like you saw glaciers, and it was actually I was in 5th grade, and they took us to this one place where there was a glacier, and they've been measuring how far it's moved, like receded, I guess you would say, in so many years.
Oh, it melted.
Yeah, and
Thanks, Obama.
and I'd be curious from that point, you know, like looking at it from that point until now, if we were to go back to see how much more it's moved, because I guarantee it's probably significant. But it should be fun. I like the fact that you just kind of get on the boat and you're set. Like you don't have to worry about anything.
Well,
and
I like it because it feels
That's what they
cozy.
found on the Titanic.
I like it because it feels tidy. Like, or tight. Yeah, no, like, not tidy. What was the word I was just said? Damn it. Cozy. That's the one. Not tidy.
Cozy.
What the hell's my problem? Because you're out in the middle of the ocean.
Yeah.
Like, think about it. You're out in the middle of the ocean. You're on this floating
Secluded.
object.
Yeah.
But there's freaking, like, games and, like, buffets and stuff.
Yeah.
well, and like full
And sea
theater.
monsters.
No, yeah, seriously. Well, yeah, I'm just seriously like, okay,
Yeah.
pluck a person out of like the 1700s, like pirate or works for the British Navy, and put them on a freaking cruise ship today. You kidding me? Like people
We'd die.
risk their lives to go across the ocean
yeah.
from, you know, into the New World or whatever in America.
Yeah, we just do it for shits and giggles.
Yeah, we just
Yeah,
we're gonna
entertainment.
yeah, exactly. I'm gonna cannonball like right in the middle of the ocean. You know
I
what I
want
mean?
to see like online comparison to like a regular cruise ship size to like the 3 ships that Columbus came over
The
with,
Nina,
you know,
the Pinta, and the Santa Maria.
Yep, exactly. Like, can you imagine like?
You want a gold star, douchebag?
Do you think that Columbus's ships were like the size of like the cruise boats on the lake? Probably. Like,
Yeah,
Probably, yeah.
Like, and that's crazy.
Not very big, but
yeah.
back then it was big.
Hopefully a little bigger.
It'd be cool to go on like a sea voyage on something like
On,
that,
like,
like
a
an
real-
old
like a
school.
pirate ship?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like like the Black Pearl,
Yeah.
or like I guess more
Like-
realistic.
Go around and plunder and
Well,
pillage.
it's like let's plunder that navy vessel.
We're bringing back OG pirates.
Yeah, sweet. Well, but honestly, like to do like a cruise, like an authentic like pirate ship cruise, where you had like the different levels and stuff. You had to climb
Yeah.
ladders and hoist
Yeah.
the sails and all this other
Yeah.
stuff. I think that'd be pretty fun.
Real quick,
For, like, a
remember
day.
when Somalian pirates were all the rage?
Yeah.
So
By
those-
all the rage, you mean like a threat
Yeah.
to everybody's safety?
So it was like my senior year in high school, and I'll never forget this girl.
I don't know where you're going with this.
Well, let
Did
me
you
fucking
date,
finish.
Did you date a Somali pirate?
This girl comes into my English class. She's like, "Did you know pirates are real?"
Oh.
I was like, "Excuse me?" She's like, "Yeah, they're pirates. They're not just like in stories." I was like, "Yeah, no shit."
Like, how do you think they thought of this concept
Yeah.
of a pirate?
Mhm.
Like,
You know that bullshit story they told us in history class about pirates?
You'll never believe this. There are firefighters too.
And
All-
fire's real.
all these things in these books, real.
Yeah.
Can you believe it? Can you believe it?
Well, it's funny though because if you go to what is it? Is it off the Horn of Africa? You saw Captain Phillips, right?
Yeah.
You saw it.
No, I haven't.
About the Somali pirates.
I haven't.
That's another thing about Greg. He doesn't watch any cool movies. You really
Debatable.
Factually incorrect.
don't. Well, you really don't. You seen Jaws?
Yeah.
Okay, that's a lie, but okay. No, but like these tankers and stuff like that, like
Cape
they'll
Horn?
go around. No, it's not Cape Horn. It's the Horn of Africa. Is it Cape Horn? Maybe it's Cape Horn. I don't know.
Piece of shit.
I think it actually might be over by Saudi Arabia. Over
No,
there.
it's off the Horn of Africa, which is technically by Saudi Arabia.
Oh, there. Okay.
I'm not a geologist, but here's my point. Like they have to like risk it every
Geologist
single time.
Rocks.
Yeah, geologist.
Is rocks.
Damn it, I'm not. What is it? Geographer.
Yep.
I don't work for National Geographic.
She's on her eyes.
But they have to
Yeah.
risk their everything every
Yeah.
time they go.
No.
Cape Horn is South America.
Thank you. I was right.
No,
I was
you
right.
you were not. He
The
said South-
Horn. I said the Horn of Africa.
Oh.
He said, "Oh, Cape Horn."
Oh, okay. No, do you remember? I watched a little clip from Captain Sandy from Below Deck, and on her $1 million yachts that she like captains, she told this story on like a behind the scenes thing about how she almost got
Pirates.
captured by pirates,
Wow.
Damn.
like on one of those multi-million dollar charter yachts.
That's nuts.
And by the way, that's happening in the future too.
We're gonna capture a yacht.
No, we're not gonna pretend we're pirates, but we're gonna charter like one of those really expensive yachts because that looks amazing,
yeah.
doesn't it? That's like total. As soon as we win the lottery,
I
we're
feel like
booking
if you're
one
a
of those things.
captain, whether you're a lady or a man, I feel like if you're a captain of a vessel like that, it's kind of a fantasy to be caught by pirates and like at their. at
Yeah,
their
until they're
mercy.
like threatening your life.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know the Navy SEALs that like came
Woo!
out to like save Captain Phillips.
Mm-hmm.
They
They
when
freaking airdropped onto the
the
ship.
Halo dropped
Sweet.
and fucking did gainers out of the plane.
So cool.
And then the coolest synchronized shot in the history of man.
Yeah. Wait, I thought you said you didn't see the movie, or you
I
just know
didn't-
this from
yeah,
knowing
I just,
it.
I just like
That's
Navy
so
SEAL
cool.
shit.
I love, yeah, me too. But anyway, cruise ships, I'm a big fan because it's just you're out in the middle of the freaking ocean and you have all the luxuries of home.
Yeah. And you
Period.
really don't have to, like, you can just go anywhere and grab, like, a plate of food. That's, like, my dream. It's, like, you just walk up and, like,
Yeah.
pizza.
Yeah.
And, like, you just walk over, like, 10 feet from there and you're like, sandwich. And then you're like, ice cream.
Yeah.
Remember Spy Kids?
I didn't really get into Spy
Me
Kids. I think
too.
that was before.
I didn't
'cause we're
really
older
like it.
than- yeah.
I
Yeah.
didn't really like it, but they had like the dude. He I think it's like a pill or something. He puts it on a plate and puts it in the microwave, and like hits the button and it comes out and it's a Big Mac with fries.
Nice.
Damn it, that'd be
Fuck.
cool. First of
Yeah.
all, well, they stole that from Back to the Future, Part 2, the superior Back to the Future, because in the Back to the Future Part 2, they take this little like coaster-sized pizza,
Mhm.
put it in what's called a rehydrator, and they do it for like literally like 10 seconds, and
Yeah.
it comes out and it's like a fresh, beautiful pizza. So, just saying.
I'm going to make the argument that possibly both of those stole it from the Jetsons.
I'm into that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of always been a futuristic theme.
Wilma. Oh wait,
That's
no,
the
that's
Flintstones.
Flintstones.
You're an
What was
idiot.
that?
Idiot.
I guess I shouldn't be on for this
Yeah.
Jetsons topic. I'll
Jeez.
just be drinking some
Man.
water over here. Same Hanna-Barbera or whatever.
But yeah, no. And like, there's people that make their living doing these, like, entertainment and living on cruise ships. Like, when you think about it, like, no matter how many guests you have this nearly the same amount of people in crew. So you have all these guest levels, and then there's that many more crew levels, and that's a lot of
That's
fucking
nuts.
people
Oh, yeah.
to be on a ship. Like,
A
just
cruise ship?
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's just a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever seen the picture of the Titanic in front of a modern day cruise ship?
No,
Oh
I
man,
would,
stupid.
it's
I
so
would love
crazy.
that.
No, it's like a speedboat versus like a.
Is it?
It's ridiculous.
Well, I remember we saw that one in port when we were driving to one of our excursions in Jamaica, and I don't know if it was one being built, refurbished, or something like that, because it was a little rough around the edges.
Yeah,
Oh
look at
my
that.
gosh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, fast
does.
forward 100 years and think about what the ships will look
Technology
like.
and airplanes and all that stuff. But that thing literally looked like a skyscraper on its side floating on water.
Yeah, those Royal Caribbean ones have like full on, like from the outside they look whatever, like, regular.
Mhm.
And then they have like an interior is like a 7-story like mall, like
Oh,
shopping
yeah,
mall
yeah,
kind
yeah.
of thing, like atrium. That's what
Yeah,
I'm looking for.
yeah.
And then they have like waterfall features and stuff like that. It's just crazy. And so like you think about that, and like I said, fast forward 100 years and then think about what else they'll have.
Oh, I know.
Like
It's
space right now is kind of that way. And then like in
Well,
300 years we'll be like, oh, we're gonna what are you guys doing this? Oh, we're gonna do spring break on the moon.
See, Elon Musk wants to nuke Mars.
Yeah, why?
He said he thinks it'll be like a rapid greenhouse effect, and it'll melt the ice caps and then create a habitable world.
So
When
what
did
do you
Elon Musk become Dr. Evil?
Yeah, no kidding. So when, like, that's a lot of, I feel like, theory. Like, there's a lot of, like, questions still.
Yeah.
Like, how do you?
Yeah, it's a pretty extreme. Hey, let's give this a shot.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Yeah.
Well, that's how discoveries are made. Period.
Yeah.
That one
Well,
seems
that's
pretty
nuking
extreme.
a planet.
Yeah.
Is a little different than
I
like,
get
hey,
that.
let's put some of this bacteria on this disease. Oh wow, it's cured. Weird.
I get it, but I'm just
Penicillin.
saying it's all trial and error. Literally everything is just trial and error.
But I mean, with nuking a planet, there's not really any trial and error. It's just trial, and if you fail, that's the end.
Correct.
Like,
I'm with Elon.
No one said they weren't.
yeah, no, it's just crazy to think that. Well, but like, considering we haven't been to the moon since when? I'm sure you know this better than I do.
1974,
1974.
Apollo 17. Technically,
Allegedly.
technically
Yeah,
Apollo
exactly.
18 happened, and that was the last mission. But we can talk about that some other time.
So, like,
Not a movie.
Yeah.
when do you think really, like, they say, okay, space travel, that's going to be in the future, but, like, realistically, when do you think generalized space travel is going to be a thing? In our lifetime?
I was told
Yes.
on Fox Kids Saturday morning cartoons
This morning?
when I was like 8 that we would have colonies on Mars in 2064.
64. Huh.
Those fuckers better deliver.
We don't even have anything on the moon, though.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
I'd believe that if it's like, oh yeah, we have a military base on the moon. Well, maybe we do. But they just won't tell anybody. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like we have to do the moon
Hey,
first.
how about that video you sent me?
Which, oh yeah.
The thing disappearing behind the moon. Did you see it?
No, you never showed me that.
Yeah.
That's
Pull that
crazy,
up.
too.
I'll find it quickly.
Yeah.
Like, and I mean, the moon's so far away that there has to be stuff that just, is going on there that we can't see.
Why do we only ever see one side of it?
Because that's how gravity works.
I have no idea. I feel like that stuff is just like
Yeah.
my mind can not comprehend it sometimes because it's just.
And technically, we
craziness.
don't just see one side of it because it's
Doesn't it rotate too?
that's why you see crescent moons and stuff like that. I think.
No,
Isn't
I don't
it?
think that's
No.
how the moons work. The moon.
That's us getting between the sun and the moon.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that would be an eclipse. That would be a lunar eclipse. Lunar eclipse. If the Earth's shadow is casting on the moon to make that crescent shape, that would be a lunar eclipse.
It's the sun casting a shadow on the moon. That's because it's nighttime. The only reason we see the moon is because there is a certain amount of light coming around the Earth at night, reflecting off of
I
it.
think we might be wrong.
It
Are
is
we?
all a result of the moon's orbit around the Earth and the Earth's orbit around the sun. We see the moon at night in the night sky because it is reflecting light from the sun. The moon does. Excuse me, we're not
I
done.
was just right.
The moon does not generate any light of its own, so the lit part of the moon is always pointed toward the sun. It's not the Earth's shadow.
I didn't say that.
Oh, Dino's right. It's not the Earth's shadow, Greg. Piece of shit. So there's an object that is very big that disappears behind the moon. And it's really fuzzy, so I don't think they can fake that. What'd you think
We
of
don't
it?
think it's like a
It looked,
cloud
it
or.
looked interesting.
No, it went behind the moon.
Huh. Well, I guess why would
Unless
there
the moon's
be?
got clouds now. Look, this
That's
is like
crazy.
Yeah.
I think it's a mothership.
Or it's a
Asteroid.
sandworm. From the moon.
What?
Sand.
Beetlejuice.
That's crazy. All that stuff just blows my mind. I just don't like because it's just so unknown.
We'll talk about we can talk about
I heard a
space.
conspiracy theory recently that the moon is just like a
Cheese?
That's what I thought of too.
It's an energy receptor, and when people die, their souls go into the moon. and
Whoa.
That's what powers the light. Yeah, and then they go and meet their dead relatives and stuff.
Was it This feels like a Day of the Dead.
I feel like we need to make
Theory.
some Kool-Aid. You know what I'm saying? Get some new sneakers.
Yeah. Oh, they're all there. Got a little brighter that day, huh?
Anyway, Jesus Christ. Anyway, so back to, because we could
Travel,
do space
yeah.
literally all day.
Yeah.
So travel. Greg, where's your favorite place you've ever been in your entire life?
I mean, Disneyland.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
I haven't been very many places, and it's magic. It's the happiest
It
place
is.
on earth.
Yep, that is true.
Mine would have to be Hawaii.
Really?
Yes.
It's a pretty gay answer.
So sorry to our trans community out there. No, Hawaii. Have you been there? Of course you haven't been there. So Hawaii, it's kind of like the cruise ship thing, because when you're out, there's something spiritual about Hawaii. Because when Diana and I went on our 1-year anniversary after we got married, that was my first time to Hawaii. There is something weird about Hawaii. Like you're out, look at a map. You're out, you're surrounded by ocean. It's very much like a cruise ship kind of a thing. But except for the fact that, I don't know, man, it's just, it's so cool. And not to mention, I mean, it's warm. The water is beautiful. The sea life is really beautiful.
I will agree with you that being in Hawaii does have a different feel to it than like being anywhere else that I've ever been.
Something spiritual about it. Well, because we've been to the Bahamas. We've been to Jamaica. We've been to Mexico. It's all tropical.
Yeah.
Hawaii's
I mean,
different.
Can you ride Pirates of the Caribbean there?
You can absolutely if you find some pirates. And you were in the Caribbean.
No, mine has to be Walt Disney World.
That's my second.
There's just so much stuff there that is just amazing. It's my favorite place to go ever. I could just be there every vacation and be fine with it.
I hope I get there soon.
Yeah, you'll love it.
Make sure you plan enough time, though, because there's a lot to see.
Yeah. I think that's some of people's biggest mistake is not being in Disney World for a long enough time, because then you just can't see everything. But even if you're there for, what's the longest we've been there?
2 weeks.
Almost 2 weeks. I think we're 12 days.
No, it was 2 weeks.
It was technically 12 days, but we still we technically didn't see everything. Like it's just impossible to do everything because there's just so much stuff.
Well, and
to
it's
see.
a lot. Like there's a lot of, I mean, Disneyland and all that's a lot of walking and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But I mean, then you're talking about like 4 parks, 6 if you count the water parks.
Yeah.
So
Plus
when
Universal.
I go, how long?
7 days minimum.
7 days in the parks?
Bare minimum.
Yep, minimum.
Yeah, and we've been there 5 times.
Something, yeah, probably close
5 or
to
6 times, one for a 2-week stretch, and we still haven't done everything.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
And now there's all this new stuff coming out too.
Yeah.
And you know what really I hate people that are like, oh, you're going to Disney again?
Yeah.
Oh, you're going to Disney?
Yeah.
Why not go to Europe? Why not go to friggin' Tuscany or blah, blah, blah,
Oh,
blah.
didn't ask for your opinion.
But even then, it's like, first of all, customer service. Can we talk
Oh
about
my
customer
gosh,
service?
yes.
Second to none. We checked in on this recent trip. Obviously you guys know, but we checked in on this recent trip into Disneyland. We stayed at the Grand Californian Resort, and we were there, and you had to have reservations to go into the Star Wars land. And the guy at the front desk that checked us in straight up asked us, did you get everyone in that you wanted to? And we're like, no, we have, some of our family, they weren't even staying on property. And he's like, oh, don't worry about it, I'll take care of that. Clickety clack, 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 and they did it. So, I mean, there's definitely a lot of minimum wagers that work. Like, in the park that, sometimes you don't get the best customer service, but 95% of the time you're going to get the best customer service no matter where you go.
But I feel also like even like the cleanup people and the ride people and stuff, they're just like in such a better mood than like even the people at like Universal.
Most
and
of them.
especially when we're at Silverwood. Oh my gosh. They like those are just like literally kids that like I don't think are qualified to operate some of those rides.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
There was
Silverwood's
one kid
fun.
I'm pretty sure was on that maybe a little bit retarded.
Caleb?
He was,
What was his
it
name?
wasn't Caleb. It was I think it started with a B.
Toby, I always think.
Not have the sound B in it. The Toby.
No, that's always
Toby.
like when I think of like a
Easy.
retarded person, their name's Toby.
Well, sorry to any Tobys out there.
Uh,
If you know a guy named Toby, don't recommend this to him.
but he was running after.
Yeah, he was
Really?
weird. He was a weird kid. Silverwood was fun, but it's just not. Just like if you go to like I don't really have any like need to go to Magic Mountain or like Six
Yeah.
Flags or anything like that.
They really
Like there's a
gone
ton of Six
downhill.
Flags and stuff around the country. I'm good,
Yeah, but I think like most people travel to the same places frequently. Like I think it's actually out of the ordinary for someone to go on say an annual vacation and go somewhere different every single time. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
I mean I like going different places.
I do too, but it's like there is something nice to have the familiarity of like
What?
familiarity. Did I say it wrong?
Familiarity.
It's all right.
Whatever.
Familiarity.
Familiarity.
Yeah.
Whatever.
You ever say a word
Familiarity.
too many times and it's not real in your head anymore, and then you question everything?
Like,
Yeah.
That's where I'm at.
I am human.
Stupid.
I am human.
No, when you go
What
on
word?
Familiarity.
familiarity.
Hmm.
From what? How do you say it?
Familiarity.
Familiarity.
Wingardium Leviosa.
Yeah, whatever. No, there's something to having a familiar feeling to being on vacation and going to the same place. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
I like it. Some people go up camping to the same spot.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't
but
see me giving them shit.
yeah, but it is nice to kind of explore new
Maybe behind
things
their
and
back.
kind of yeah, cause
We have like family members who be like, "Oh, you guys are going there again?"
yeah,
It's like,
it's what we like.
yeah, like mind your own business.
Because it is always changing. Like that's the thing. Even
Yeah,
though we do
it's
go
always
to,
changing. They got new food,
oh my gosh, yeah.
new rides.
Have you seen the 50th anniversary of Haunted Mansion food that they have out right
Not
now?
the food, no.
Oh my gosh.
Girl.
It's, like,
They have like
amazing.
a seafood bake that like comes in like a clear bag.
I did see that.
Yeah.
I did see that. That was
They
nice.
have
Yeah.
in the Haunted Mansion they have a Haunted Mansion themed churro called the Bride churro, and it's like drenched in powdered sugar like what they put on the
But it
beignets.
has like a vanilla taste to it.
So essentially we need to just go there now.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm really digging all these themed churros that they're doing because
Yeah.
I feel like
With
this
the
is
Buzz Lightyear churros?
yes, that this
Sorry.
is a
Almost took off your thumb.
Broken my goddamn thumb.
that was a high five gone rogue.
Seriously.
Sorry.
Really aggressive.
Sorry.
Seriously, you could have sprained my thumb or
Yeah.
something. You'll
I
hear
pulled
from
back
What are you,
last second.
weak?
You'll hear from my attorney. Yes, I am.
No, I feel like it's only been like the last year or two that they've really gotten into these themed churros. And granted, we're going to Disneyland again next year, but then the year after that, we're going to Disney World.
Mhm.
And I'm really nervous because Disney World churros are not up to the caliber
Okay.
of Disneyland churros.
That's one thing you should remember. Never order a churro in
Well, I have
Disney
to get
World.
one.
No.
Well,
to
I-
see exactly how
Yeah.
bad they are terrible in
Yeah.
Disney World.
I will give them the benefit of the doubt that I literally every time we go, I get one and I'm just like,
They're
"No,
terrible.
Yeah, but I will.
They're like this big,
no,
like that.
it's because they don't have the Mexicans. Cubans don't know how to make churros.
100%.
Damn.
Seriously though,
Yep.
they're horrible. But what do they have in Disney World? What's like their signature dish in Disney World then?
I'm not really sure.
Turkey legs are both the same.
Yeah.
It's a
But
little bit different than a churro.
I know, but like you think about Disneyland, it's like, hey, churro time.
Yep.
Yeah.
I guess it would be a Dole
Churro
Whip.
clock.
Hey.
Churro
like
clock,
that
churro
one.
30.
Oh yeah. Well, how
Um,
many churros do you think we honestly ate per day? I honestly think we averaged like 15 churros per person per day. I'm not kidding.
That's you two. That.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Oh,
Well, it was like, oh, let's go
I
ride
don't know
Space
about
Mountain.
15, but
No.
at least
10?
8.
Okay, well, something.
I
Yeah.
would say less than 10 because that's just insane. But it was literally every time I turn around, you guys were eating churros.
Well, seriously, it'd be like, oh, okay, let's go ride, let's get a fast five for Big Thunder. Okay, there's 2 churro places we can stop by on the way. And it's like, or like, hey, we're in line. Okay, I'm going to go get churros.
Yeah.
And we would all
Yeah.
just buy each other churros.
I did love the community churro feel of that trip, where it was like somebody would just kind of disappear and then come back with like 2 or 3 churros.
Yeah.
And it's like one for everybody. Like,
But it wasn't like, it got to the point where
great.
like the first day or something, I was like, oh, thank you so much, that's so nice of you. It got to the point where it was just like,
Where's
you
my
just,
fucking churro?
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
It's like, I'm here, and you're just like divvying
you just
them up.
knew to get me a churro when you went to Buzz Lightyear's thing.
Yeah.
And then you came back and you're like, and we just didn't, it's nonverbal.
Yeah.
Just, yep. And
Did
then
you guys ever try one of the Buzz Lightyear?
The spicy ones?
Yeah.
No.
Didn't it have
They
like
had-
it was like rolled in Red Hots or something
Yeah.
like that?
They had the superior churros though. And actually we just missed
The Galaxy?
yeah, they had I don't know what was about them. They're like Cinnamon Toast Crunch. We just missed the Infinity Gauntlet churros.
Yeah.
You could get them all throughout California Adventure. They had one for each stone, and it had different candies that was rolled
There was
in.
like blue raspberry.
Yeah,
and,
like on Instagram, you can see people with like all of them, like in a fist.
Yeah.
I know.
Awesome.
Son of a bitch.
I know.
I
Seriously.
would love to be in charge of that, like theming, between like movies and food.
Oh, the whole
or
thing's a dream job.
that kind of thing. Like that would be so much fun, because I feel like the kind of corny play on words and stuff I would be excellent at.
Yeah. Well, I mean, just any job you can have like that, from like what do they call it? Not like intellectual property, but like, just thinking of fun names like that.
Yeah.
Like, oh, here's.
Like crayon names.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But like for different foods and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. I mean, you go to every Disney trip you take, you'll find something new to eat, you'll find something new to ride, and you'll find something new to enjoy, like restaurants and stuff.
Oh yeah.
I mean, even just like theming and stuff like that. I don't know. Anyone who disparages a Disney trip is just garbage.
Yeah.
They
It's
just
like-
don't see it the way we do, because it is just fun, and that's why I'm really
It's
excited for
super
the
fun.
for the cruise, because I
We've
just
never
love
done
the,
that.
yeah, we've never done it, but it's Disney, so it's familiar to us, and we know the customer service is going to be great, and it'll be fun to kind of do something a little bit different, to go down to Mexico, where it's going to be warm when it's March here, and probably not going to be the best weather. So I'm looking forward to it. It should be fun. We will report back.
Mhm.
What would you guys do if, like, when you're in Disney World on your
On the 50th anniversary?
on your anniversary thing, and you're in Magic Kingdom, and you come around a corner, and I'm just there, and I'm like, oh, well, hey, weird.
Actually, that's
wow,
happened.
same dates and everything, huh?
Yeah, where are you guys staying? Me too.
Room right next door.
Yeah.
Hey.
That's actually, well, not something similar to that has happened to Matt's cousins before. His one cousin that lives in Spokane was in Disneyland with his family, and his other cousin that lived in Salt Lake City was there with her like high school drill team or something.
Something like that.
Yeah, and so they're like walking through the park, and all of a sudden like he sees a family member there, and that's
That's so weird.
Yeah.
And she's like, hey, what's up? And it's like, oh. That's,
Yeah.
But that's also kind of like, wouldn't that be like, just like, oh, like I came to be on vacation. You know what I mean?
Why are you
Did I
here?
tell you, Megan from work, so when I went in 2017, she got there the day after I did and left the day after we did.
That's
In
crazy.
Disneyland?
Yeah, we were there at the same time.
Wow.
Yeah, it was nuts.
So like you're planning trips unbeknownst to you at the
Mhm.
same time for
Right.
like the same thing. That is
Yeah,
crazy.
didn't even know each other yet.
Well, it's like when right before we went to Disneyland, we found out that your friend that lives down the street
Mhm.
was there too.
Yep. And he was there like as we were there.
Yeah,
That's
we
crazy.
didn't see him.
Remember I
though.
told you that? I said, maybe we meet up with them. We didn't. I think they left before we did.
Yeah,
But no, I mean, and now we want to try and get to Disneyland Paris,
yeah.
Disneyland Hong Kong Disneyland, assuming things cool down, Shanghai Disneyland, and what else is there? Tokyo
Tokyo?
Disneyland.
Fuck.
Yeah. Sorry. Anyway, those 4 we'd like to get to too.
Yeah. Well, I think the next one that's on the short list would be Alani, to go back to Hawaii and do just the Disney resort there. It would be nice.
You need to go to Hawaii.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is fun. There's something special about
Flying over the ocean freaks me out.
it. Yeah.
It's not fun, but
no.
At
It
the end
takes
of
a
the
long
day,
time.
it's just like any other plane flight. You kind of let go. Like, all right, well, I might die.
Yeah.
On that one, it's like, well, now I really might die because if there's a problem, there's not like a runway anywhere near.
I hope this flotation device works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then even then, it's like, okay, hey, we floated, we made it, and then it's like, oh, good, we're just in the water,
Yep.
surrounded by
Yep.
3,000 miles of water. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, go to Hawaii. That's a good pick.
Did you know that my grandpa used to work for Delta
No.
Airlines, and it wasn't like he wasn't like a pilot or anything. He was like more office type of stuff, and he got to try out the slides like they were first implementing the slides on
Wow.
the
Escape
airplane.
slide?
Yeah.
Huh?
That's something.
And he like got to like try it out and stuff like that. I want to say it was probably in the 80s, like early 80s, that he got to do that, because I don't know really when those were implemented or anything like that, but it's just kind of crazy to think for as long as we've been flying that like those things haven't really been around for that long.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But almost like I feel like if the plane were to go down and you're like going from here to say Florida, so there's like all of America like in between, I guess they could probably find a field somewhere. But if you're going from here to Hawaii, then like what do you think you would feel safer? Like, okay, we're not gonna crash, but I gotta put this thing down. Would you feel safer going like, okay, I gotta find a field somewhere that's hopefully big enough, or like, okay, there's water, I can put it down basically anywhere?
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of, I don't know, I feel like I'd be a little safer over the water.
Same.
Can you imagine like just like landing in the middle of a field and there's a cow looking in the window and you're like,
I wish. I just never seen any. Huh?
You wish?
Okay, it's like, oh yeah, it'd be nice to just land softly in the field, or just
well, yeah, no.
how many plane crashes turn out very well?
Seems like there's more and more.
Well,
these
there's
days.
like there are the ones that you hear of like where an engine goes out and then they just emergency land.
Yeah,
they're fine.
Well, I mean, once
Yeah.
they're in the air, it's fine. Both engines could go out. They could lose all power as long as they have control of the hydraulics.
Rudders and shit.
Well, you're good, but that's the thing. They have to, because essentially, and that's what I had to learn when I was like really afraid of flying, is that when you're in an airplane, don't think of it as just empty space below you, because it's really not. You're on like a bed of air because you're going so fast.
Yeah.
So it's almost like driving a boat. It's almost like being on water. Like that's how much force there is. So it's not just going to drop out of the sky unless they point it down.
Yeah.
So
on average, how fast do airplanes go?
500 miles per hour.
Really?
I really liked that that Southwest app. Or
Yeah.
not that, but you can.
It's
do, like, the
comforting.
Flight tracker. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can see like your elevation.
I think it's like 500 to 800 depending on the size
That's
of the jet.
crazy.
Yeah.
Honestly, never
So
knew
like
that.
I would like look like you know how you kind of feel like that drop in your stomach when it starts to level out when it's done climbing,
Mm-hmm.
and then you check the thing you're like, oh, 36,000 feet, we're done,
Yeah.
we're not falling,
Have you ever seen those videos of people that use their GPSs in an airplane?
and they're just like yeah.
No.
Yeah,
that's
it's so good. Here, let
hysterical.
me find one.
You're like, you're here. No,
No,
you're here.
it's hilarious because you're literally going like so super fast, and it doesn't even make sense.
crazy.
You showed me that Harry Potter one for that
Yeah.
Harry Potter game, and so like you've seen the Harry Potter app?
Yeah.
So it like shows your dude on a broom and they're in a plane and they're just like.
I've seen it where people use that filter where it shows how many miles per hour you're going,
Yeah.
because that's
Yeah.
what it's meant, and it's like really high. But I haven't seen the thing that you're talking about. What about like, do you think we will ever have like those bullet trains or like some sort of like train transportation?
Mm-hmm.
We were just
Do you-
talking about this and you were talking shit about bullet trains.
There's nothing around
Douchebag.
here.
So,
See, look.
but it doesn't show how fast. Oh, it's
Yeah,
really.
495 miles per
Oh.
hour.
I like how-
It even shows a car.
Yeah. It's like, you're going that fast. Come on, app. Shouldn't you know it's not in a car?
Yes, I think we'll have bullet trains, but at the same time, I don't think it's going to be anytime soon. That's what I was
I'd like
saying.
to teleport.
Me too.
Well, they don't even want to do bullet trains anymore. They want to do those underground tubes.
Like
If
Star
Elon
Trek?
Musk
Yeah.
has it,
The
Elon
Boring
Musk's. If Elon Musk has his way, they want the Boring Company. They want to do. They're having it in
magnet
LA
rails.
already. They have it in LA already, don't they? It's
Yeah.
basically a bullet train, but it's a pressurized tube that you like get into. It's like the vehicle's like a little pill. You get into it and it uses there's like a vacuum around it.
Mhm.
Uses like high pressure and magnets to just like.
Like the thing at the bank.
Yeah.
Like the drive-thru?
Actually, yeah, that's
Yeah.
totally exactly right. Except for it's underground and it's like stupid fast. Like, I think that's pretty cool. But at the same time, I don't know. See, I hate flying, but at the same time, it's like if you're just in an enclosed tube underground,
That's why I think a
basically like
train
a
would
coffin.
be better.
Yeah.
It's like, oh sweet, just hop on in this coffin. We'll be in Sacramento in
Right.
20 minutes.
Like, have you been to Seattle where they have the tunnels?
Yep.
With like
Hate
how
it.
far you are from an exit.
Yep.
Oh,
Hate it.
that shit makes me uncomfortable.
Yep, I don't like
you know
that
what I'm
at
talking about?
No.
So like painted on the walls, it'll be like a person, like a stick figure running.
Oh,
and
okay.
it'll say like an arrow, and it'll be like 200 feet this way, 600 feet that way.
Is it a walking tunnel or like
No.
a?
No, it's just a driving tunnel.
So
It
like
goes
if
under the
something
Oh,
happens
I
and you
see
need to
what-
get the fuck out and you can't drive.
I see. Okay, I get it. I didn't understand it first, but
It's
yeah, that's pretty
nuts.
They have
unnerving.
emergency snorkels on the walls. That's how I would run.
That's crazy.
But I don't see any like major crazy infrastructure like travel changes anytime soon.
Yeah. Because, I mean, think about how many trains and just the mode of transportation via train has been eliminated. Like, they're
Oh, yeah.
literally, like, tearing all this stuff up. Like, in just this area alone, the railroad has given the land that the train tracks were on to the, like, Centennial Trail and stuff.
Really?
So, like, yeah, so now it's just, like, so they're kind of, because obviously they put the train tracks in strategic places so you can get from one place to another. So now they're doing it for, like, walking trails and this, that, and the other, but...
Well, I think now that kind of stuff's almost like, what's the word? Not nostalgic, but...
just, like, out of date of, like, technology, or...
like whimsical, almost whimsical. Whimsical.
Whimsical.
I am whimsical. We were just talking about, I want to do that Trans-Canada Railroad.
Yeah.
You start in Seattle or Vancouver.
It's a novelty anymore.
Yeah, that's
There's
the
a
word.
good word.
Yeah. A novel tool. You start off, but they have like glass, like the glass viewing
Yeah.
spots, and you're just going through like the wilderness and stuff like that.
You just have to take 3 months off work and
I know, right?
Listen, I don't care who you are. If I have to ever like if I have the option to go to Europe or something like that, or like Japan or something like that, I think a nice sea voyage would be delightful.
Jesus.
On like a nice boat.
it's
like
gonna eat up so much of your.
Yeah.
I'm saying like I don't have to work anymore.
No.
Like if
Oh, like
like
retired
time isn't
life?
yeah like a retirement thing,
Have
like
you
a
seen-
cool sea voyage around the world. Like that's what rich people do. They retire and then they sail around the world
Yeah.
or whatever.
And they get
On
abducted
Cos-
by
Swallowed.
Somalian pirates.
Ooh, we've come full
Yeah.
circle.
Full circle. On Costco's website, you can do a round the world cruise. It takes, I think, 6 months to a year, but it's a cruise where you literally you
That's cool.
go around the world. I think you go through the Panama Canal, you go around the bottom of Africa, you go by Australia, like
See, that's cool.
yeah, isn't that crazy?
Except for there's a lot of great white sharks down in that area.
But you're on a cruise ship.
Well, if it sinks, you're gonna wish I.
Yeah.
told
I just
you
wonder
that.
if you'd get like sick of it. You're like, Jesus Christ, like
Yeah.
month 4,
Well, we
still on
were
this
talking
fucking
about
boat.
the train thing and it was like Vancouver to Toronto.
Mhm.
And I was like, I guarantee by the time you get there, you've booked and looked up every flight you can. Yeah.
You're like not going this way.
I think it'd be a lot of fun.
I think for train stuff in Europe, it's totally different because you take a train from like country to country, and yeah, it might take an afternoon to get there, but like
I'd like to go to Europe.
yeah,
Me too.
it'd be really
I want to get there before all the history is too offensive and they get rid of it.
Too late.
no.
It's true.
Insane.
Let's see. So we have about 6 minutes. So to wrap up this first topic, name the one place in the entire world that you haven't been that you want to go to. Like if you could go to any place you want to tomorrow, where would you go?
I know where you would go.
Well, don't spoil it.
Okay.
Well, you do yours and then you say what you think mine is, and then I'll confirm or
Okay.
deny.
If I could go anywhere, I would go to Australia. That's where I would want to go and be able to go and see like all the sites there. Like I'd go to the touristy places. I don't need to go on like an Aboriginal walk or anything like that, walkabout. But I'd go to all the sightseeing places. And my prediction for where you would like to go is you'd go to the Hobbit Hills or whatever they're called in New Zealand.
New Zealand! 100% New Zealand. Not just the Hobbit Hills, and it's the Shire, you son of a bitch. But they just have it's like one of the last like really cool places like in the entire world.
Yeah.
To be honest, I mean there's cool places everywhere, of course, but New Zealand, man, there's something about New Zealand. I need to go there, and they don't have big ass spiders like Australia, by the way.
Yeah, I know Australia is kind of iffy with the bugs,
Ugh.
but
No, but I would go to New Zealand in a heartbeat. And actually, somewhat off topic, but still supports my argument for New Zealand. If nuclear apocalypse ever happens, or if or when Yellowstone goes off, guess where the fallout for either scenario is not going to reach? New Zealand.
Yeah.
It's the safest place in the world. So, other than the wallaby attacks.
Oh yeah, that's a real thing.
I can't narrow it down, but it'd be Japan,
Mm.
Scandinavia,
Oh.
Italy, or Greece.
Yeah, Greece. Oh,
Yeah.
that's top of my list too.
Pick one though.
No.
Did you get my thing that I sent you that showed the Viking ship on the moon?
Yeah. Yeah, it was good.
That was really good. Why any of those?
All the history.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like I want to see the Colosseum in Rome.
Mm.
I want the Vatican,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Vatican City, Japan, all that history, the samurai, the architecture.
Mm-hmm.
It does kind of blow your mind to
Yeah.
be in a place, and I think it's because we live on the West Coast, to where our history is only like 100 plus, like just over 100 years old.
Mhm.
Like Idaho was only established in the late 1800s,
Mhm.
but then you go over to the East Coast, and a lot of those places, you know, were established in the 1700s and that
Yeah.
kind of stuff. But then you go over to Europe, and you're like,
Yeah,
holy
they
shit.
have buildings that are older than our country.
Yeah.
We were even watching a Home Hunters International one time, and they're like, "Oh yeah, this apartment is 13th century built, something
Yeah.
set." It's like, really?
Yeah.
How cool is that? And it looked like some like from Beauty and the Beast.
And
how
that bathroom, you
haunted is
know,
that?
could not
Haunted as
handle
hell.
your dumps.
Oh no, God no. See, I couldn't be European. Like I couldn't. Even when we go to Europe, I might just have to do it like to bag
Diaper.
my poop. Yeah.
That's what
Honestly,
they do with the president.
their plumbing isn't ready.
Yeah.
What? They
You didn't
bag
know
the
that?
president's poops?
Yep.
Really?
Yep.
Why?
So that foreign governments can't get it and like dissect it and see if like there might be any vulnerabilities they might have. And,
Wow.
That's a
That's a nugget.
yeah.
Yep.
there you go.
Literally, hey, that might be the perfect way to end this first
The
episode.
more you know.
Yeah.
Well, they bagged the president's poop, so that's where we landed.
Yep.
So every time we do one of these, it's going to start with a specific topic, and we're just going to see where we land. And I think it's funny that we started with travel and ended on presidents bagging their poop. So I think we
Fitting.
should
Yeah.
try and keep track of these things.
Yeah.
So anyway, any final thoughts on travel,
No, don't think so.
Greg?
I'm a fan.
Yeah.
Traveling's fun. If you don't travel, then you may as well just, I don't know, call it a day, man. Like, you need to go travel. Traveling's fun. I was going to say something a little more hardcore.
Yeah,
I know.
I felt it coming.
Yeah, that's how we do it. Okay, well, we'll see you next time on Triple Scoop.
Bye.